restless.
I'm gone.
Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck into the trench. See a lead, be the band.
When we slide right with the top down. Oh, my bad. Welcome to another episode of Corner to Copa. I'm here with my co-host, Coach. What's the deal, man? How you feel?
Man, I got to get this heart rate under control. That's been going on since yesterday.
Get it
the
together.
Ninth inning was crazy. I couldn't eat till 9 p.m. last night, and today wasn't nearly as bad. But my heart definitely sunk after the whole Jackson Jobe implosion. I thinking like, well, this was the crack in the door that kind of team needs. You can't give them, and we'll touch on that later on specifically. But I mean, just crazy, just getting in like, okay, you know what? It's house money, we can beat these guys. They're older. Verlander got left off the roster due to injury and largely inefficiency too. But man, 2-game sweep, baby. 2-game sweep. These guys get well-deserved, I think, 2 days off tomorrow and Friday before the divisional round begins Saturday. But man, you want to talk about it? I put it out on our Twitter account, our show's Twitter account. Tweeted at Merriam-Webster Dictionary like, hey, I think we need to reference the Tigers here in the word grit. It's time.
Embodiment, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The throw from pretty much like the bookend of the game. You had the crazy, incredible throw by McKinstry at third on the first bat of the game that just got him. And then you kind of cap it off essentially with Andy Ibanez, bases clearing double down the line, which, that field is so awkwardly close and in and on top of the field that from the TV's angle, and they cut to the behind home plate camera angle, the ball just disappears and you have no idea if it's fair or foul because there's some foul line down those stands that are elevated high above the ground that just gets cut off from the camera angle. And even the announcer's like, and it is.
Even when you're there, you just don't know, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like you can't be sitting anywhere on the left side, third base side, unless you're right on the line. That's one of those seats right on the row. Like, yeah, anywhere else you'd be able to see it for the most part. But yeah, it's such a unique and kind of awkward layout the way they have those stands, 15, 20 feet above the ground. But I mean, man, that's been the team. When I saw the lineup, we talked offline a little bit. I'm like, this feels like the best defensive lineup he could put out there in terms of positions too. Obviously we've been getting a bit of Jace Young out there at third. We've seen some of the struggles with the glove in addition to the bat. So I wasn't totally surprised to see McKinstry get a start, but at the same time, you knew that like, okay, him and Colton, Carey's only DHing. You had Veerling playing the outfield with Parker. And it's like, okay, this is the best in terms of fielding and whatnot. This is probably the best version he could put out there. And man, the infield made 3 double plays in the course of that game that were all huge. Unfortunately you had the hot shot to Torkelson, which, at that point in time, you got to be thinking, I got to get an out here anywhere, even if you trade a run. At that point, you got to get an out. Because there were no outs at that point in time. You got to get one, either none or one. It's like, and then he threw that one hopper that Rogers couldn't corral. I don't really blame Rogers, kind of an off kilter throw. And, anyone out there?
We blame Twerk. We know.
No, I'm not. Hey, you try catching a weak little throw in with the catcher's glove, man. That's hard for anyone.
Off your knees,
but man, Andy Ibanez wiped that all.
Yeah.
Well, he had to keep his foot on the plate for the force out, and it pulled him off.
No, that's tricky because
Ibanez wiped it all out.
Oh, hold on. Oh, we got Troy in the building. Let's go. Troy says, guys, let's go. This team, Tanner Bibby is Cleveland game 1 starter. I'm not scared of Cleveland at all. Bibby does not scare me whatsoever. Yes, salute to Troy.
Tanner,
Yeah. So they had the Cleveland had Cleveland had a
yeah,
bye?
I mean it's yeah. Top two seeds, Cleveland, New York had a bye. Same with the Dodgers and the Phillies in the National League. So they basically get a week off, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, now we go on to Cleveland. I guess the way they do it is the one seed will, in case the 6 upsets the 3, then they would be facing a higher seed than the winner in 4 and 5. So the 1 plays 4 and 5 automatically, which guarantees them potentially the lowest seed remaining, if not the 6. It's a little weird, but no reseeding in the MLB playoffs. But man, the bullpen went to work pretty much for the most part. You know, I mean, outside of Jackson today and Foley's a little bit of, inconsistency yesterday, the bullpen was amazing. Holton, I figured, was going to get a short 1 inning, if not less than that, depending on who the batter was that came up. And he was spectacular. Will Vest was spectacular. These guys are making plays all over the field. They were in the right play position pre-pitch for some of these catches. Parker was out there just covering all that track all there. But, the maid's tiny compared to Comerica Park. So he just did the old Torrey Hunter. It's just, we good.
It was easy. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were a handful of times when the ball went up in the air, whether it was us or them. I'm thinking, oh, that's gone. Oh, that's gone. Just because how small that park is and humidity down there, which I'm sure you can attest to right now, it's still pretty prevalent. So that ball, even though the dome was closed, I believe you said, ball could still carry a bit more than it would be out here outdoors in Comerica. But yeah, you were there, man. Give us your thoughts on the vibe and everything. Take it away.
Bro, the area I was in was the row I was in. It was about half Tigers and then half Astros. But there was plenty of Tigers love going around. By the end of it, I'm so mad. I left a little early because once everybody was flooding out, all the Tigers fans hung around. So it was a nice congregation of Tigers fans. But it was funny because the Astros colors are they went back to they got rid of the burgundy and gray or whatever they were. So they're back to the orange and blue. So everybody is wearing Tigers colors in my eyes. So like you have to look real close to look for the old English D to see the Tigers fans. But the energy was there. Of course, after the game, anybody you saw with the old English D, high fives and elbow bumps going around. It was electrifying. Ibanez, what did I said? Lifetime Tiger. How do you let that man go? Zach McKinstry. Who leaves this lineup offensively? I got a chance to meet. I don't know if it was Malloy's pops. It might have been an uncle or a grandfather because he was an older guy. But it was good, because how many older men wearing a Malloy jersey are you going to see in the stadium? But yeah, he right. I asked him if he was kin to Malloy. He said, yeah. And I just, said, it's good to see
That's
you.
That's your second family relative run in, right? Was it Hanafi or Herder earlier in the summer? You saw one of the.
We saw Malloy's mom and dad. Well, I saw his mom and dad at the game we went to on my birthday, 9/11. She was there because she ended up walking down after the game. But yeah, and it was funny because Malloy hadn't entered the game. I sent my sentiments to him, and then Malloy ended up being in the game later on and got a hit. So that was really cool to see. But we're gonna get to our first break right here. Give me a second. Well, we're back, man. So yeah, I mean, adrenaline is high. We took two right away in the series. When do we see? I'm ready to see Schoolboy again, man. When did we see Schoolboy again after you said a two game break?
2 days. I think Saturday, I believe, is game 1 for everyone, because game 3 necessary would be tomorrow. So everyone at worst case gets an off day Friday for travel if they go the 3 games. Obviously, we'll get 2 days off. I got to imagine since we're playing Cleveland, they'll fly home tomorrow and kind of reconvene with family and whatnot, take a day and maybe do some film or something. And Friday, gather their stuff and then take that short flight right across Great Lake there to Cleveland for 5-game series. Yeah, the ALDS is only a 5-game series, but to answer your question,
it was just 3. Shit.
Yeah, to answer your question, though, it's a little. It depends if they could go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, it'd be 4 days potentially. So it would either be game 2, or if they keep them on the 6 days rest, it'd be game 3, because game 1 and 2 would be in Cleveland. There'd be an off day Monday for travel, and then Tuesday would be game 3 at Comerica Park. So it just depends on what they're gonna hold to. So I don't know right now. Scooble threw around 93 pitches and 6 innings, and he got hit with that comebacker. We haven't heard anything about an update on, any x-rays or anything. So obviously that's a good indicator if he wasn't in any of that kind of pain, or maybe they did. They're just keeping it, under wraps because there's no need to report anything. So, but either way, it looks like he should be good to go. It's just a matter of if they're going to hold him to 4 days, or if they're going to hold him to the 5 or 6 days that they had done over the last 5-6 weeks of the season. But regardless, I mean, this bullpen continues to defy odds along with the lineup in itself. And, we saw Sweeney swipe a bag today. Parker got thrown out for the first time in a while trying to swipe one. So, I mean, these guys are, they're not just relying on their teammates' bat to get them through. They're going, trying to be aggressive. A couple times in the 2 games, we saw first to third with less than 2 outs, in the right spots. So it was just, it's tough to compact it all in the last 2 days in a short little, time frame here. But man, bottom line, they delivered.
So we're gonna get to Troy's comments. He said AJ Hinch is a genius. AJ Hinch is a genius. Starting Holton was perfect. Astros were not expecting Hannafy either. Their game plan for Olsen. They were game planning for Olsen the whole time. Maybe. AJ's strategies completely neutralized the Astros lineup. I think Scooble pitches game 2. He went all out in that first game. Yeah, we saw, who did we see in that first game? We saw Scooble. We saw Vest. Vest pit closed tonight, right?
Yes. Yeah, because Bo came in earlier tonight or today.
Did Bo pitch tonight? Yeah, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
And so we saw Vest last night. We saw Holton. We saw Foley, and we saw Bo, right?
And today we saw Herder. Oh, last night? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I can double check, but yeah, we saw some arms that I figured that we didn't pitch yesterday. Given how wild Foley was, I wasn't sure if they're going to use him unless it became an out of situation either way. Not to say that he was lost his late inning spot. It's just one of those things where he only throws a couple pitches. He was wild with 1 or 2, so it became fairly easy to pick up in terms of, okay, what pitch is he throwing accurately? That's what I'm going to sit on, or I'm just going to take the walk. Yeah, we used pretty much everyone. I will say, to the point about Olsen, he only has pitched twice since coming back from injury, and I don't expect him to open. Twice, I don't expect him to start.
Just twice?
2 or 3 times, if that, but he didn't pitch more than 2 or 3 innings. It wasn't like he was back, before the injury, where he was pitching, 6 innings on a regular basis, looking like good as Jack Flaherty and Scooble had been. But, now that we're going to a 5-game series, it's possible, or I think what's probably more along the realistic line with him is that Olsen goes in, like similar to today. They have an opener for exactly 1 inning, nothing more. And then he can come in and pitch maybe 3 innings or so, enough to get 1 or 2 times through the lineup kind of before they start to pick up on anything. And then transition the way AJ has with the rest of the guys in the pen. So, he said he was going to be pitching by chaos, and that's exactly what happened today.
Why not start Olsen?
He hasn't started in 2.5 months. He's not, he had the injury. He's not, if he was ready to start, he would have started and pitched him 5-6 innings like he had, and that hadn't happened in any of his games back in Detroit. And it didn't in Toledo either. He only pitched on average about 3 innings for his rehab starts, but that's more normal. But yeah, go ahead and read that one out.
We still haven't used Mize. Let's not.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, Mize would be a situation I think Joe would be better suited for too. In a really, one way or other kind of game. If it's 5 runs one way, all right, I could see putting him in. Mize's struggles have been documented this year for a bit. We still have hope for him. I mean, I think he could be a 1 inning type of guy and still be effective, but he's had some control issues. And then just kind of, unfortunately, grooving the strike zone in order to have the area that he's got. But I think he's still going to be effective. Job, on the other hand, it's great that he made the roster and kind of a benefactor of Maeda being so bad for most of the year. I think he's just better off, honestly, just kind of taking in the environment in the time being and not really being a serious consideration for a day-to-day usage in the bullpen. But I understand, that's why you're doing it. But I don't know if I would have put him in such a high leverage situation, considering, he opened for a few innings his last game, and then he came in out of the bullpen in largely a game that was decided that clinched it against Chicago. So, kid's young, get it. But, we got to stick with the horses that have gotten us there so far.
I mean, I feel like it was good for him to experience it. I think the first pitch he threw, he hit somebody, which was wild.
Yeah. He went first 3 pitches were hit by a pitch and a single. Next thing you know, there's 2 on, no outs, and you're thinking, oh boy, this is going to get out of hand quick. And, I don't know. I think, look, me personally, that's all. I'll shut up after this. First thing, I don't think it was the right move at all by AJ. And 2, he doubled down on it and kept him in and gave up the lead without even having an out at one point. I'm thinking we're going to get blown out at this point, and then we luckily got a double play ball to end the inning. We're only down 1, but I digress.
No. Respect. I mean, I know. No, you're right about that. We got when it's all said and done, we may have a long playoff experience coming up. So it's okay to give him that experience, knowing that we got through and we saved somebody's arm down the way. But let's get to the next. We're gonna do one more another break here. All right. Let's see what this comment is real quick. Troy says he is a young kid with only a few MLB appearances. I'm with you, coach. That was it was a bold move.
Bold is the correct word, because when I heard that on the telecast, because usually on the websites when you gamecast, sometimes they tell you who's heating up in the bullpen, who's warming up. That wasn't up for either MLB.com or ESPN. So when I heard that over the over the TV announcers during that horrible audio, yeah, that's right, Foster, you weren't there for about 6+ innings, maybe more. ABC completely botched their audio, and they had technical difficulties for like 2/3, 3/4 of the game. So the audio was ahead of the video by like 2 seconds. Yeah. And it was a cluster. But I mean, yeah, bold is definitely the right word I would use. And man, if he was sweating bullets when he made his MLB debut in that 9th inning against the Sox, man, he had been pouring buckets of sweat today for sure.
Guess where he's from?
He's from Texas. He's from he's from Irvine, Texas, and he went to high school in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, man.
Because you
Boy, I was like,
profile.
I'm pretty sure he's from Texas. So yeah.
Well, here's a crazy thing about that too. You want to talk about storylines? That too. Hunter Brown obviously is from Michigan, went to high school here in Lakeview, just outside Detroit and St. Clair Shores. He has a tattoo of the Detroit Tigers Old English D on his arm. So they brought that up on the telecast. They're like, how often do you see a guy pitching against a team that he probably grew up rooting for who has a tattoo on his arm?
No, there was some guys from St. Clair Shores in my row. Like that was like half of my row was like a family from St. Clair Shores, Lakeview, South Lake. There's like a whole, I guess there's a whole like couple.
Yeah,
different...
South Lake and Lakeview are the two high schools in that district. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was wild.
So so give us a little perspective on there. Andy Ibanez comes up with the bases loaded and he pops that double down the line. How describe the change in the environment from before he stepped in, right as he stepped in, to after that play finished with Torkelson sliding head first and screaming?
The stadium, first of all, I'm sipping on my little brewskis or whatever. I had to urinate so bad. So after we cleared the bases, that was my opportunity to finally use the bathroom. But of course, the air out of the stadium was gone. Everybody started clearing for the exits. I mean, not everybody, because I looked back out there and I was like, okay, there's still some people here, but they were skedaddling. But like I said, like
50, 75% of the people bolted.
I would say 25, which is a quarter is a lot of people. Yeah, because I mean, it was 3 runs they were down, not like 8, so there was still some people. But when 25% of the stadium leaves, that's a nice amount when it was full in there.
Oh yeah, especially for a playoff game for sure.
But yeah, there was a nice cluster of Tigers fans around. A lot of high fives. My hand's about broken with all the high fives. But but man, it was electrifying in that building. Man, that was great. That was amazing.
Yeah, I man, it's, you just don't know. Sometimes I feel like for this team this year, it obviously it's working, but the fact that, I think there was a let's see if I can find it. There was a stat that went up that said something along the lines of this team doesn't have a 25-run home run hitter. They don't have someone with over 100 RBIs and a handful of other offensive statistics that they said, this is the first time ever in Major League history that a team made the playoffs and they don't have, A, B, and C, D, E, F, etc. Here it is. They didn't have a single player with 25 stolen bases, 25 home runs, 75 RBIs, or 150 hits, singularly for any category. Not a single player hit that plateau, and they made the playoffs. First time ever in Major League history.
That's if this team ain't destiny, what is? Just tell me. I just want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's retribution after the Wings got eliminated in 4 games by the Kings as the 8th seed. So we're due for some history on our side, in addition to just the drought in general. So, Troy, you're pretty much. I mean, once I feel like Reese will get it. We'll get a start now. I think. I mean, you go into a 5-game series. It's a little different now. You don't play wild card. It's bang, 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 bang in a row with no break. Now you get travel days. You're going to get 2 travel days. So I think you could, but also you don't have to because of those travel days. Your bullpen gets to reset for a full day. So guys that were not available maybe that game now all of a sudden are available, and guys that didn't throw a crazy amount of pitches, you're reset again. So I think this is going to play more in our favor. The wild card series was going to be a little more nerve wracking just because, like we said, there's no breaks. So one guy goes a lot of pitches, and Hader came in, he threw a ton last night. And I was kind of surprised when he came in down 3-0. And I get it. You got to hold him to that and no more. But at the same time, you know, he's your closer when you have a lead. He's not just a relief pitcher to throw in there when you're losing. But, you know, whatever, you know, they couldn't hack it. We did. We made more plays. Pitchers made more pitches. You know, I think Parker had the only, I believe if I'm not mistaken, had the only home run of the whole series. He had the only home run of the series. So, you know, I mean, there were contributions from everyone in this series, and I think the game one was the tone. You said that they had runners in every inning except for one or two that reached base, and it created, you know, a little bit of havoc and a little bit of worry. So, I mean, if we can keep that kind of momentum in that regard, and okay, I don't care if it's a 2-out walk, he's got to face batter. He's got to throw 5, 6, 7, 8 more pitches or more. And, you know, Hunter Brown was only limited to 6 innings because we got his pitch count up, and he historically only averaged around 95 pitches a game. So, you know, that's what we needed. We needed to get the guy out there. We couldn't let him, like, for instance, last night for Baltimore, Corbin Burns threw 88 pitches in 9+ innings. Can you imagine what the type of the game would be if Hunter Brown had only thrown 90 pitches in 8 innings? That'd be crazy. I'd be sitting there like, well, we might be screwed here, but wasn't the case. Patient hitters, they're drawing walks on a regular basis here. You know, it's a weird combination. I saw a lot early guys swinging early in the count, and then, you know, over the last handful of innings, they became more and more patient and drew more walks to put more runners on. So, and it forced him to make some plays. And, you know, Altuve had that weird error on the throw where he just was almost too nonchalant about it to first base. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't out all day. 99 times out of 100 at the major league level, that's an out. And I don't know if he alligator armed it, but it went wide and it pulled the first baseman off, and he whiffed on the
that was Torque, right?
I can't recall who
it was. It was Torque. I remember telling him, I'm like, Torque doesn't even run fast. Like, what happened?
And that's what they said. Tim Kirkshin on ESPN ABC was like, that's why you hustle. And Ben Verlander said it on X on Twitter as well. That's why you hustle, kids. You hustle it out. You know, yeah, you're getting paid a lot, but, you know, playoffs, you never know. And, you know, the little things like that, they might not draw a run per se, but guess what? It's another batter that pitcher's got to face. Now with a runner on. Base hit puts him at third if he's a decent enough runner that's not in the infield on a base hit. Now all of a sudden you got runners in the corner with 2 outs like that. So I think they did a lot of little things right. You know, they made some mistakes. Thankfully, they didn't come back to really bite them too hard. But, you know, take that as a learning experience as well. And, you know, they're partying hard tonight in Houston. I can tell you that.
Let's go, baby. All right, let's get to a break. We see if we'll see if we can wrap it up. We'll see.
Yeah, we got a couple. Yeah, I think we got a couple comments too.
Yeah, we got a few. I didn't even. Yeah. Troy says AJ is him. So, coach, he knows what it is with you. Troy got beef with you. No, I'm just playing.
I ain't no beef.
because you can still vote. Like, the vote's still out, right?
No, it's regular season. It doesn't matter for anything postseason.
Still, though,
it's a regular season award.
But still, the Tigers are making press now. But let's get to the rest of them and we'll talk about it. Reach your start game one.
It's a media vote. It's a media vote. It's not a public vote.
No. But what I'm saying is that, you know, media is the Tigers are making media now at this point. But he said reach your start game one. That was like a while ago, but 5 minutes ago. But yeah,
it's possible.
He said that Altuve error cost Brown extra pitches. Shout out to Torque for the hustle on the play. Absolutely. See, another guy between Torque and Hinch, like those are like, I don't know what that is to coach. I won't make comparisons, but yeah.
Well, all right. But yeah, I mean, I'll say this. Okay,
Torque
yeah.
made the final catch
we're going to hold accountability, right? He hustled great. I'm not even going to talk about the throw we already did. He had 2 big at-bats in this series with runners on and 2 out, multiple runners in scoring position, and he went down striking out. Come on. All right, world accountability, there it is. There's both sides of it. He hustled. It kept Brown in the game, which was huge. But at the same time, he's drew, a walk today, and he had a single the other day. Dude's supposed to be this power hitter, and with the best position available to be in as a power hitter, goose egg, nothing, nada, not even contact. Come on. I'm not banking on him to deliver big hits right now. I'm banking on everyone else. So that's me, and I think the rest of the team's been functioning well that way, not relying on him, because when he went down, they couldn't rely on him. They had to do it themselves. So it's every man. It's all 26 players on this team right now.
Yeah,
Minus Dingler, who hasn't seen the light of day.
Yeah, we haven't seen Dingler. We haven't seen we didn't see Perez today, which was interesting.
No, yeah. I would not expect to see Dingler, honestly. It would be a very weird situation for him to go out there. It's not like he bats left-handed, where he can then pinch hit Jake Rogers and let him close out the game. It would take something like Rogers going up to me like, look, I need a day, or at least just don't start me. I need, I need a blow. I need a break, something. But, he's a gamer. Dude's got the nastiest caterpillar this side of the Mason-Dixon line left in the playoffs.
What is a caterpillar?
And he really commands a pitching staff well. His mustache.
Oh, yeah.
They're fuzzy.
No, it's funny because the picture they display is a beard, and I was telling the lady next to me, I'm like, that's not even, that's a Texas boy. He wears the mustache. You don't even wear that beard.
No, yeah, that thing completely covers his upper lip. It's engulfed in it. But hey, let me get your opinion real quick here. Team MVP of the series.
Look at the fire.
Gun to head.
Can you see
the screensaver?
MVP. Oh my god. Meadows. I can't. I haven't. I'm going. Not having a box score. I'm just going off of like my heart. The home run was huge. He played great defense. I feel like everything else was spread around. I don't think Green, Carpenter had great series. Veerling, maybe Veerling.
I gotta go with. Yeah, I think I got to go with Parker just because he played both days. He made some nice plays in the outfield and the home run today. And I think, you know what? And I only chose him because if you look at our next comment, Troy stole the thunder. Go ahead and put that up there on him.
Yeah. Bo Brisky. I almost said Brisky.
Yeah, Troy, he was absolutely clutch. Both games delivered. He was electric. He was on top of it, ready to go. Delivered in some big moments. I would consider Holton, but obviously he didn't pitch as many innings, although he was just as dominant. But it's tough. 2 games, someone could have said Ibanez, and I don't think he'd be wrong. You could have said Skubal, you wouldn't have been wrong. So there were not too many incorrect answers, honestly. And, that's the embodiment of this team and what they continue to do. So, I don't have much.
You can't say it wasn't Holton.
Right. Yeah. And who else? Vest pitch, not, excellent, but he was still very good, which is what you need. So, again, it's every man on this 26-man team chipping in together when needed. So, I got nothing much else left to say until these series wrap up here. I'm currently watching the Kansas City Baltimore game. Tight one, 2-1. Kansas City's had to lead twice.
You're Smog, right?
Yeah, that's me.
He said, let's go, Smog.
That's my YouTube name. That's my YouTube account name. And if the giveaway ain't too obvious, that's me umpiring at Comerica Park a high school game 2 years ago between South Lyon and Oxford. Actually, 2 years ago, I think April. Luckily, been there to umpire a few different times, including Detroit Tigers fantasy camp back post COVID. But no, that enough about that. But yeah, I don't have too much else to say about this right now. If you want to flip up the one, Troy just popped in another comment there. Cleveland, yeah, sure. We struggled in our season series against everyone in the division. We had a losing record against everyone except for Chicago. But with momentum is being the way it is right now, and the fact that Cleveland's bullpen stinks, and outside of BB, who you mentioned, they don't really have a solidified number 2 guy. But who they activated and started down the last couple months of the year? Familiar name. I mentioned him once, Foster. You know who I'm talking about? Former starter.
Some of the Indians activated somebody?
Yeah. Well, they signed him. Yeah, they signed him and he got hurt, and then he came off the IL and pitched the last probably 2 months of the season. He'll probably start against us, but Matthew Boyd will be starting against us. You want to talk about another former Tiger? But I really think Troy called him above ass. He pitched okay. It wasn't terrible, but I mean,
Troy on it, Andy, because I ain't know you.
Troy, I'll say this: he was better than Maeda was this year. I can say that much. But anyways, no, I think if I'm gonna go win, I say for that series, I go Tigers in 6. They doesn't need to go 7. As long as they can continue swinging the bat well, they'll be back in kind of familiar-ish territory
Coach, hold it up.
In the Midwest.
Hold it down. I'll be right.
Gotcha. But yeah, I think Detroit in 6 is my initial prediction. As long as Scooble pitches game 1 or 2, he'll be fine to pitch, another game in that series or start, make a game, 5 or 6. Obviously, that might not enable him to come out of the pen in game 7 if it came down to it. Oh, yeah, 5-game series. Tigers in 4. Sorry, yeah, I kept thinking 7. I know they've changed the format in the last few years, but Tigers in 4.
Right. Okay. I'm like, I'll be going to do 6 and 5.
Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself to the ALCS. That's what I'm doing. Tigers in 4. It won't come back out of Detroit. It's going to end in Detroit. And that's going to be crazy for the fans. Yeah, Troy's got tickets to game 3. Let's go. Love to see it. I think that's Tuesday, right?
I didn't know where Troy coming from. As long as I've known Troy, I don't even know. I was wondering, is he even from Michigan? I thought he was just one of the homies, man.
Troy, is that for Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken? Is that right? I think they're playing Saturday, Sunday, off day, travel day, Monday, and then game 3 would be in Detroit on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to cool off a little bit, but it's going to be beautiful fall weather, warmer fall weather for everyone here. Man, I'm looking excited to it. And what's crazy too, if this holds right now, if the Royals win to clinch and sweep in Baltimore, we're going to have all 3 divisional teams in the divisional round. So you're talking 3 out of the 4 teams left in the American League will all be from the AL Central, which, if you took a straw poll vote at the beginning of the year, they probably would have said not more than 2. Probably would have been between Minnesota and Cleveland and maybe Detroit, but not all 3, certainly. But, we'll see what happens. Hey, roster resets. I don't think there's going to be crazy changes. I don't see Malloy. I think we mentioned it the other week about Malloy possibly being left off for Montero just because of the extra arms that Hinch has been using a bit. But I don't think that change happens for this series at all. I think everything stays exactly the same. So, Foster, what do you think? What do you got your take on the Cleveland series? How many games?
We're gonna do a break. We're gonna do a break first. Hold on. What'd you say? 4 games? No, you can't.
Yeah, I said Detroit in 4, clinching in Detroit.
3. So
game
what,
4.
3-1 or no?
Is it 2-2-1 or is it?
I don't know how it works. The Tigers winning for sure, But yeah, I don't see where you take Malloy off and bring Montero on. Malloy got a hit today. He almost created some more runs. So,
and he started game 2. I think that's what solidifies it. He started against the left against a righty. So right. I don't see why
he got a hit
that now.
Didn't he get a hit in the first game?
It was either hit or a walk.
He got on base for sure. Check that out though. We gonna let it ride. We're gonna let it ride.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the big question is, how do they approach game 1 and 2 in terms of Skubal, and then who are they going to use? But I think that's going to be fairly straightforward because obviously it's a divisional team. We've seen them a bunch. So I think AJ and his team or his staff have a pretty good idea in terms of how they would start the first 2 games. Again, if they use Skubal in game 2, he'd be the starter for game 5 if necessary. I think the way that would work out. But ideally, I would love for him to go games 1 and 4. But again, it's depending on what the front office and him and his agent, AJ and all them decide what's best for him. So I know they're still trying to walk that line, but in that regard, yeah, I think we'll see Olsen with a role at some point, definitely an appearance, whether it's a starter or bulk to be determined. And obviously, depending on his health, if he's in enough good stamina to get back to pitching 5-6 innings, it's certainly possible. But if not, then I could see him pitching 2 to 3 innings at most, kind of right around that, 40 to 50 pitch range, as long as he's effective. But as far as Casey Mize, I wouldn't really expect to see him again with these days off in between for travel. There's really not a need to pitch him unless there's some wild situation or a game gets out of hand either way.
Now, what do you think about just the reset of Jackson Jobe? You let him start a game with a short string, with a short leash. What do you think about that? No pressure.
Honestly,
start him in a game, maybe in Detroit.
No pressure. You're starting the game. There's no pressure. I don't
Jackson
see it.
Jobe came in the 7th inning, right?
He's been too wild. Even going to his
first game,
his first appearance, he was a little wild. I know. Well, it doesn't matter really at this point. First, second, third, fourth, they're all still early in his career. It's not like he made a 9-inning, 8 or 7-8 inning traditional start. He closed the game, then he started for 2 or 3 innings. That was it.
So he closed.
I mean, if they're up 2-0, go ahead.
No, my bad. Yeah, because we got there's a slight delay, but he closed one game, and in the second game he was in the 7th inning of a closeout game. He opened. What game he opened?
No. Backwards. He came in the 9th inning against Chicago in a 6-run game. It was already a foregone conclusion. So that was a low pressure situation. And then I think he came out on Sunday and started for 2 or 3 innings, and that was pretty much it. That's where he got his first strikeout. And then obviously just today against Houston. But I
didn't see the Sunday game.
Yeah, I didn't too much either, but yeah, I was surprised when they said that he was starting, but it made sense too at the time. You want to get a little more experience before, if you want to keep him or not, you got to evaluate him a bit more than just 1 inning a blowout game against the worst team in the major league. So you need a little more sustenance from him to properly evaluate. I mean, it's still going to be an undervaluation. The kid pitched 3 innings in over 3 days in 2 games. So really not much to go on, but just kind of test his mettle a little bit. And, they tried testing his mettle today. Just didn't quite work out. He was just way too erratic. First pitch, you hit a batter and then you give up a single 2 pitches later for grooving it right down almost the middle. It was just a bit much to ask for, a kid who's just literally popping his major league cherry. in a high pressure situation, a 1-run lead. So, maybe that's the way they do it. Maybe he comes in for an inning in relief when it's earlier in the game. But, I would imagine that if he gets into trouble like that again, you can't mess around with that situation again. And I'll say we got lucky. We could have been down 4-1, 5-1 in a heartbeat. And next thing you know, people are, screaming and hollering at AJ more so than I already was, to try and salvage it with another arm. But, because they have plenty of arms. They got plenty of arms in there. So, you take out 3 or 4 starters, you add 2 or 3 into the bullpen mix, you've got plenty of options. But that's hindsight. To your question, I don't think that happens unless they're up 2-0 and they go a game 3 in Detroit and he opens for an inning or two. That's kind of the only situation in terms of opening as a starter. I could see him coming in, either that or a blowout either way.
Yeah, knowing that he did, I forgot, or I didn't know that he opened that Sunday game. I would think I was traveling that day. So, but no, that makes sense. We're gonna get to one last break, and we are going to close out. All right, Coach. Whew. Boy, if only you knew the feeling. Okay, so Coach, what game we going to? Are we going to a game in Cleveland? Going to a game in Detroit? I mean, we going to one of these games. We'll figure it out.
We'll have to talk about it.
We'll chop.
I'm actually doing a little bit of dog sitting this weekend, actually. So
okay, you're right.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Yeah, but it's just exciting. It almost feels like a weight off our shoulders, even though the pressure was purely on Houston to begin with. You got this upstart team playing with nothing to lose that had almost virtually 0% chance of getting in with the team who has made the ALDS 7 straight years in a row and won, asterisk World Series in that stretch. But, and we when it came down nose to the grindstone, we came out on top. And they didn't. So it's this is going to be a different series altogether. Cleveland doesn't have quite the pitching that Houston did, but they certainly have as good as bats, if not better, that we've seen in person because we couldn't win the season series from them. So it's really going to test the pitching a bit more, and it's going to test these hitters to really lock in, deliver quality at bats, and limit the amount of outs they make in terms of chasing pitches or, not being able to be on the same path or wavelength as, the approaches for the pitcher and catcher for them. So chess matches all over the place. I'm just excited. Finally going to be able to get some sleep tonight. Wrap it up.
All right. That'll do it, man. Please subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers. I'm sharing this out to everybody, man. If you're not watching this show and you're a Tigers fan, you're from Detroit, you're from the area. I mean, come on, why not? If you're not feeling this energy, I brought it all the way from down south, man. Like this, it's hot. You see the fire? It's hot. It's on fire back here. But please subscribe to Bleachers to
Speakers. We stay hot, baby. We stay hot.
And shout out to the AC because they keep the AC probably freezing in the bars, freezing in all the shuttles, freezing everywhere. We got one more comment. Let's get to the comment. Troy says, "Go Tigers, guys! Great post game. Salute, my dog Troy."
Thank you, Troy. Appreciate that.
But yeah, man, they got ACs. They got AC in all these bars. It's freezing around here, but yeah, please subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube, and for all the audio aggregators, corner to Copa. It's a movie. I'll be back tomorrow on Thursday, Friday. I'm not getting no work done on Friday, man. It's Friday. It has been a drag all weekend. Good hydration though. Good hydration. But yeah. Shout out to everybody
I'll say this. This team's been in playoff mode for almost 2 months now. There ain't no other team that's been in playoff mode that long. We are locked in. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. So yeah. Stay tuned. We're on to the next series. So we got a lot more coverage to get to. My brother already said we're going to Cleveland for one. So I'm probably going to Cleveland for one. We'll be in Detroit for one of these games, and we're riding that out till the wheels fall off, and the wheels ain't falling off anytime soon. This is a Motor City. In the Motor City, the wheels don't fall off. We fix
build the axles that drive the wheels, baby. We build the axles for the wheels. That's how we do it. We ain't scared of Cleveland. We're ready for the Yankees if that's what it takes for the ALCS. We're ready for them. We love our recent history against them over the last 20 years almost. Yeah, we'll take it.
We're gonna get them together, man. But we about to get up out of here, man. Please subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We in the building. Let's get out of here.
Peace.